Well, hello class, how are you? Sorry for the little bit of a delay between lectures. I'm in the middle of tons and tons of grad school homework, and it's unbelievable how much work they have me doing. And I have to do my comprehensive exams at the end of November, and I have papers due, just like you guys do, pretty much all the time as far as homework goes. So I apologize for the delay. But today we're going to be picking up from where we left off and be talking about memes, virals, and populism. In today's lecture, we're really going to cover virals and memes, and then we're going to have another assignment about advanced memes, and we're going to go to populism after. So it's really another two-part lecture for this section, which is going to lead us to the next module where I think you'll understand more of the fulfilling aspects of what these things affect worldwide once we get there. But at this point, what I really want to focus on is how we got to the point where we're discussing virals and memes in a college class. How do you get to a point where this is some sort of academic study? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today. So in two parts. I'm going to talk about virals first. Where I look is I'm reading off a cue card. In case, that's pro tip, by the way. When you guys are doing vlogs, you could write cue cards and put them behind your camera so you're able to look at them and know what you're talking about. So I write myself my lesson on a big sheet of paper, one of those big post-it notes, and then I put it on the board. So I had you do two things for homework in order to get to this lecture. I had you watch Kony 2012, which is one of the most popular virals of all time, and I also had you make a meme, and there's a purpose to that. I had you do that because it's about participation. It's about your access points that are far easier than ever before. That you being just anybody can literally make something creative that can go anywhere and all over the world. As you'll see in one of your homework readings, how one meme can end up becoming something that is spreadable, like spreadable media, anywhere on the planet. And that's because something you say or something you create can affect people much more than I think you can, because the internet allows ordinary people to become part of the big thing, which, by the way, is the definition of populism. So that's why we're going to get to that next. Populism is the idea of looking out for the ordinary person as a group. And it's a very loaded subject, so I want to make sure I focus an entire lecture just on that. Because technically, that is my field. My most recent field is about YouTube and populism and how we are creating populist cultures using the internet as a tool to enhance that. So I definitely want to get to that at another point. But what I want to talk to you about is how this history occurs. And because when we talk about virals and memes, we're talking about platform studies. And what I mean by platform studies is we're talking about the internet as a platform, as a place, as a mass media outlet for you to do work with. And I think that's important for you to recognize, because if you could recognize that this is a mass media platform, then you could see that this is a different study than it used to be. So let's go back to understand how this comes to be. A viral video, let's start with virals. A viral video is a piece of video material that becomes extremely shareable in the digital space. And it originally started with email sharing and small bits of files that people would send to one another. But now it's much more of a shareable link that you send to one another. And so what it means is that when you send this viral, people watch it and have a similar response to that media. So when you send it, you think it's funny, somebody else does too, and then it becomes a shareable type of media. Think about how that breaks down into the terminology. If it's shareable, that creates a common response between many people, it's like a virus. Okay, so that's how viruses are too. It's a shareable something that creates a common response. In the case of a virus, usually sickness. This terminology was then used by Seth Godin, where he said this is viral media and it acts like a virus. And that's where we get that terminology, viral video. But viral videos existed previous to the internet. You might know the show, and hopefully you do, America's Funniest Videos, which is really the birth of the short form viral video. And then later, about a decade later, since America's Funniest Videos comes out the same year as the birth of the World Wide Web in 1989, 10 years later, Jackass. And so Jackass and America's Funniest Videos kind of go on the exact same framework of how viral media works. It's funny because it's not you. So you get to watch somebody else's disaster happen or something happen around you because it's not you doing it. But it's shareable because it's funny and something happened that you get to laugh and watch at. And then when you share it, other people get the exact same experience. So these things, part of the viral media experience, and what I asked you to look for in the Kony 2012 video, which I'll get to in a few seconds, and then you'll read an essay about how Kony 2012 actually does that. And so after you finish that assignment, you'll be able to read how the Kony 2012 video actually works. But you can see there's a recipe to viral videos, and it's important for you to understand that, because when you have an emotional attachment to some sort of content, it definitely makes it a far more shareable piece of material, because when you have it, you can't be alone with that. You need it to be shared with other people. But they vary. So I'm going to show you right now 3 different viral videos that are wildly viral, and you get to make your own decisions about those. So you'll see Charlie Bit My Finger, which is one of the most viral videos of all time. The Dramatic Chipmunk, followed by Linda Honey. And this way you can see how these videos all stack up in terms of how and why we share them.